The story begins in 1969, when Paul is busy preparing a secret surprise for his girlfriend, Iris. The two take a commemorative photo together, while at a nearby fountain, a mischievous boy is sneaking around fishing coins out of the pool. For some reason, Iris suddenly feels restless and anxious. As she steps into the elevator, that sense of unease within her grows increasingly stronger. Upon arriving, Paul receives news that the restaurant is fully booked. Their only options are to sit at the bar or go to the outdoor area. She hurriedly runs into the restroom, where a female singer shows concern for her. With her experience as a mother, she asks how far along Iris is in her pregnancy. Although quite surprised, Iris confesses that she has been pregnant for over a month. To make Iris feel more comfortable, Paul helps her outside to get some fresh air. Taking advantage of the romantic setting, the young man gets down on one knee to propose to his girlfriend. Iris happily nods and takes the opportunity to tell Paul the good news about the baby. But the joy is short-lived. The boy who stole the coin from the fountain earlier has brought it up here and thrown it out. The wind blows the coin back, causing it to fly straight into the fan of the air conditioning system. At the same time inside the restaurant, the chandelier above malfunctions, dropping a sharp piece of crystal onto the glass floor, creating a small crack that no one notices. The coin stuck in the fan blades is eventually sucked inside, unluckily causing a gas leak that spreads throughout the restaurant. Inevitably, the glass floor suddenly collapses, causing panic among the security guards below as they see people falling like rain. The crowd scatters in panic, and the woman mentioned earlier is unfortunately set on fire by flames from the kitchen. Combined with the leaking gas, as soon as she gets close, the entire restaurant erupts into a violent blaze. The flames also engulf the female singer from earlier. The mischievous boy dashes away the fastest. The tragedy continues as the staircase also collapses, taking many people down with it. Only that boy survives. The only escape route now is the elevator, but its capacity is limited. A man tries to squeeze in, causing the elevator cable to snap and the car to freefall, crushing him. It becomes apparent that the restaurant is tilting heavily to one side, as the support pillars can no longer bear the weight. While everyone tries to hang on, the piano is hit by the falling coin, loses its balance, slides down, and pushes everyone off with it. Just as the mischievous boy reaches the bottom, he is crushed by the piano, while the coin rolls back into the fountain. There is still one more person, the female singer's son, hiding in a crate. Mustering all her courage, Iris rushes over to save the child before the entire restaurant collapses. But they cannot hold on for long. Eventually, both fall and perish. It turns out that all of this was just a dream of a female student named Stefani. Recently, this girl has been constantly haunted by such nightmares, both day and night. And the woman, Iris, in the dream is Stefani's grandmother. The next day, Stefani decides to go home to visit her father and her younger brother, Charlie. Charlie is planning to go to Uncle Howard's house to play with his cousins. Only Stefani seems a bit distant. Later, she asks her uncle about her grandmother, Iris. He immediately changes his attitude, appearing annoyed, and claims that she went crazy, abandoned everyone to live in solitude somewhere, and has never returned to visit anyone since. Uncle Howard's wife, Aunt Brenda, shows her niece the location of a box in the kitchen cabinet. It contains letters that Iris sent home to the family. There is also a photo of her with Paul, exactly like in Stefani's dream. With the address in hand, she immediately sets out to find her grandmother. Through the security camera, Stefani speaks to someone and is turned away immediately. But when she identifies herself as Iris's granddaughter, the gate finally opens. Stefani enters the house, and the person she was just speaking to is Iris. Iris asks about Darlene, Stefani's mother, and learns that she left when the girl was only 10. Iris says that is exactly what she saw in her vision, and thanks to that, she ran to grab the coin from that boy and rushed into the restaurant to warn everyone about the glass floor being about to shatter. Thanks to that, everyone present that day escaped death. She saved everyone by outsmarting death. As for Iris, she has been trying to predict Death's moves to hold him at bay all this time. But perhaps she does not have much time left, as Iris was diagnosed with cancer 2 months ago. Iris then takes out a notebook where she has recorded everything to anticipate Death's next move. But Stefani is still skeptical and a bit frightened, so she asks to leave, promising to return later. Finally, she realizes that if she dies of cancer, her family will also be in danger, so she decides to face it. Iris hands the notebook to Stefani and proves to her granddaughter how Death is always stalking her. Immediately, a domino effect occurs, and Iris is struck by an iron bar launched straight into her head. Stefani understands she must act to save her family. so she dives into studying her grandmother's notebook. A series of signs from death begins to appear. Clumsy Bobby drops a glass, causing shards to fall into the ice bucket. The trampoline mat is gradually tearing at the edge, while a sharp rake lies underneath. And from here, a chain of events ensues. The glass belonging to Marty, Stefani's father, contains a shard of glass, but he does not drink it and sets it on the table next to him. Howard steps onto the trampoline to play when Aunt Brenda discovers the rake, hurriedly removes it, and places it in the corner. In the kitchen area, Aunt Brenda accidentally knocks over a beer bottle Eric left there, hitting the gas knob. The vibration causes the rake from earlier to shift as well. Just as Uncle Howard steps down, the mat tears apart, startling Julia and causing her to drop the glass containing the glass shard. Uncle Howard steps on it and falls to the ground. The rake also falls, activating the lawn mower, which slices his head off. He is bringing everything back to its proper order. Anyone who was supposed to die at Skyview must die. Those who were not supposed to be born must also die, one by one, according to the family tree, from oldest to youngest. And in the dream about the Skyview disaster, Iris was the second to last person to die, after the singer's son. So when she passed away, the genealogical knot was untied. Death immediately came for Uncle Howard. Now, only Brenda and Marty are safe in the house, as they are not blood relatives. The next victim will be the eldest brother, Eric. Despite Stefani's efforts to explain, everyone leaves one by one. Only Darlene stays with her daughter. That night, Eric is working at a tattoo and piercing shop, having been instructed by his boss to clean up and close the shop after finishing his work. It is now past 1 a.m. He uses alcohol to clean up and decides to do something to honor his late father. Tattoo the word father on his hand. The vibration from the speaker causes a jar to fall. Eric is startled and steps back, accidentally knocking over a container of alcohol. A chain hanging from the ceiling fan comes loose and hooks onto Eric's nose ring. While he is struggling to unhook it, an iron lamp falls, creating a spark that ignites the alcohol. By the time Eric manages to escape, the fire has already flared up violently. As dawn breaks, Stefani is extremely worried because she couldn't reach Eric all night. She wakes her younger brother, and the two go looking for him. However, he is still alive and is nearly hit by Stefani's car. It turns out that thanks to the jacket he wore last night, Eric was not burned and only suffered a minor injury to his hand. Stefani still does not understand how Eric escaped death, but she subsequently begins to sense dangerous omens, such as a hedge trimmer or a ball the children are playing with. Even the garbage truck in front of them seems fraught with danger. Just then, Julia jogs out of the house, and the omens Stefani predicted happen, but to Julia. The three of them hurriedly chase after it to save Julia. Stefani climbs onto the truck while Charlie and Eric try to block its path. However, the driver is playing music too loudly and does not hear anything. Stefani manages to climb up and tries to pull Julia out before she is crushed. However, it is too late, and Stefani once again has to witness a loved one pass away. But she wonders why death spared Eric and moved on to Julia. It is then that Aunt Brenda reveals the shocking secret that Eric is not Howard's biological son. Therefore, Eric does not share the same bloodline as everyone else. Although Eric is shocked, this turns out to be good for him as he will avoid the Grim Reaper's scythe. So after Julia, the next person will be Bobby. The problem is that even though she knows the order of death, Stefani still does not know how to stop it. She remembers that Iris's notebook mentioned JB had found the only person to escape death's grasp. Darlene hears this name and finds it very familiar. The hospital is not too far, so everyone decides to go find JB. And Eric also decides to tag along. In the car, Darlene and Stefani have a chance to open up to each other. Because Darlene was raised by a woman who saw death everywhere she looked. So when she had children, she also saw hundreds of ways that Stefani and Charlie could die. To protect her children's childhood, she chose to leave. After about an hour, the five of them arrive at Hope River Hospital. The receptionist informs them that JB works in the basement, where autopsies are performed. JB's real name is William. William is the son of the female singer whom Iris tried to save in Stefani's dream. He helped Iris reinforce her cabin and provided medical services for her. Stefani asks directly about the only person to survive a confrontation with death. That is Kimberly Corman, the female lead of the second installment. She fell into the lake, but was saved by the doctor. That breaks the chain of connection. That is one way. The second way is to kill someone to claim their remaining lifespan. According to William, neither way is feasible because Kimberly's case was extremely rare. He advises everyone to face the truth and enjoy their final moments. Eric comes up with the idea of feeding Bobby peanuts, which he is allergic to. They will apply Kimberly's method. He goes to a vending machine to buy peanut candy, but the machine gets jammed. The two of them enter the empty MRI room across the hall to carry out the plan. Eric steps out for a moment and accidentally slams the door, causing the diary to fall onto the computer keyboard and activating the MRI machine. Eric wants to steal a wheelchair so he can rush Bobby to the emergency room as soon as the allergic reaction starts. But because the MRI machine is running, the incredibly strong magnetic field pulls all metal objects inside. When Bobby starts having trouble breathing, Charlie calls him from the hallway. Eric raises his phone and is violently sucked backward, increasing the magnetic intensity. Finally, Eric's body is bent in half. A nurse outside notices something strange and runs over to check. As soon as she opens the door, the spring from the vending machine earlier is sucked in with the force of a bullet and lodges straight into Bobby's head. The two consecutive deaths leave the survivors in a state of extreme panic. The next person is Darlene. She says the only way is to go live at Iris's cabin, as her grandmother lived there for decades and remained safe. As the three of them hug to comfort each other, the coin falls out of Stefani's backpack. A while later, an elderly woman picks up the coin and puts it in her purse. Stefani drives her mother to the cabin, with a series of signs warning that death is in pursuit. Although they make it inside, Stefani's seatbelt gets stuck after a collision. She urges her brother to get their mother inside first. Things are not that simple. A hanging plant pot inside the house, which had a partially stamped rope from when Stefani last met Iris, now falls onto a gas tank below. The explosion blasts the car into a nearby sinkhole filled with water, and Stefani begins to sink. Charlie is pinned by a tree, but is luckily saved by Darlene. After that, his mother was crushed by a power pole. Charlie dives into the water to save his sister, but cannot unfasten the seatbelt. Finally, Stefani stops breathing. Charlie performs CPR continuously, and luckily, she wakes up. Both of them finally escape the Grim Reaper's scythe. Sometime later, their lives gradually stabilize. Today is Charlie's graduation ceremony, and they plan to pick up Jenny, his girlfriend. Jenny's father said he saved her sister's life during the golden hour. However, he emphasizes that Stefani had only stopped breathing at that time, not her heart, so theoretically, she was not completely dead. At this point, it is understood that something bad is about to happen. Earlier, when Stefani was fixing a rose for Charlie, she pricked her hand and made it bleed. The elderly woman from the hospital the other night drops the coin while buying water. It rolls straight down onto the tracks and gets stuck right in the switch mechanism. The train rushes in, derails, and slides straight toward Charlie and Stefani. The two siblings run for their lives, thinking they have escaped, but logs from the train crash down and crush them. And the movie ends here.